fellow compatriots, this is your host, Drapeatron here, and today I have made Makuta Teridax from Bionicle Gen 1. Now, before I start, let me start with a few disclaimers. So, number one. So, we all know that Makuta had, like, multiple variations and forms, throughout the Gen 1 continuity. First, he was a midget, a Matoran, and then, big surprise, big shadowy spaghetti monster, as well as the beefy chunky toy rendition, which was amazing. And then there was the movie rendition with big fat body and digigrade legs, and sometimes he had bat wings here and there. And then there was his Ivan Ooze rendition. Hint, hint, wink, wink, Power Rangers reference. But then, he eventually took over the Matinee robot and this and that, but then suffered from a concussion at the very end. Anyway, with that all said and done, there are multiple versions, so you're probably wondering which Masterpiece version that I did. Well, I based it off of the toy version. This is a masterpiece of the toy version. And there will be some traits carried on toward the movie version. Now, you may be wondering, okay, so even though the toy version was mostly covered in gray, you would think that's part of his body, but you would be wrong, that's actually armor. Now the version I will be showing you is with him without the armor. This is a work in progress. This figure is not yet done. I still have to finish with the accessories, but for now I will show you the figure as is. I tried to rush this figure out as soon as possible because, I heard a comment, somebody saying, you need to work on your mocking skills. So, in wanting to improve, I'm going to show you the latest version that I've done, which I put a lot of effort into. So, please, put any statements or whatever in the comment section down below and let me know what I can do to improve. Now, me as a Bionicle MOCist, my signature trait is functions. That is my signature. That's my signature when it comes to building MOCs. It's the play feature. So, with that said and carried out of the way, let's go straight to the review! And, like always, to the meat and gritty, of course! Fellow compatriots, I introduce to you all my masterpiece, Makuta Teridax, without the armor. Once he has the armor, he's gonna look much more like the original toy, as depicted over in here. He will look more like this. He will eventually look more like that, but at the moment, he's without the armor. But he still has similar traits, such as the same dome section kind of thing over in the chest area, the two lines going down, head where it's supposed to be at, the multitude of fingers as you can see, the staff, he even has the original piping, similar crotch design, especially since it uses the same Roxy lower torso bit. He got these pieces over here. He even has the Borg head pieces over here on the sides to replicate more like the original figure. And yeah, I mean, he got the 3 toes. He got 3 toes, but even though the original toy had a rounded the feet, that's because that's going to be an armor section. So the armor will be over here, covering the foot. This entire leg is going to be covered in like a smooth-like design, just like in the original toy. So there will be a lot of liberties done with the armor, because I'm going to be ending up replicating the armor more. But So this figure will end up being mostly covered up with the armor, but this is him without the armor. Now, that I got that to you guys, and you know what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and start. The staff is different. Yes, I know. Deal with it. Okay. Feet go up this far, go back this far. Toes are just loose. They flop around because I needed room for the posability because I didn't want my figure to be such a statue. His knees only bent like that much, but I know what you're saying. Tributron, can you just put the bolt joint over here in this connection? Well, I could do that, but I would feel like the leg is sticking out forward too much, and plus since I need to center our balance, so this bolt joint is slightly higher up than the crotch area bolt joint, so it's a little out of line with the center of balance, and as you can see, the arm pops off because reasons. Forward this far, back only this far because this piece back over here, this piece bumps into this piece over here, so he can't exactly go back that far, but he does have excellent spread, so you can make him do splits. This section over here wiggles a little, so you know there's a combination of movement for the legs there, if for some reason, if you need it that way. The head is on a bolt joint, so you got full range of wiggly waggly wiggly waggly movement. His arms can keep popping off. My gosh, I feel the need to glue it, but that will be cheating if I glue it. And up this far with the shoulder pads down this far, and as you can see, there's a movement kind of feature with it. And as you notice, because I based this design, I should talk about the design. I really should before I start talking about the arms. So the head, you know how it's the red and the clear blue underneath, and then it's covered with the black. I did that kind of form of layering with the rest of the body. That's why it looks the way it is. So as you can see, especially with the arms and the back, you got the blue here, some red, and red over here, but it's all covered by the black. So it replicates the head, especially on the back here. So you got your red, your clear blue, and then some more red covered in black. And the process keeps repeating even in here. There's a little bit of red. Inside the chest cavity, there's a little bit of red, but it's covered over by black. Even in the legs, some red here, covered in black. I couldn't put that much clear blue in the legs, except in the lower leg. I was able to put it in there. So you got clear blue, red, and then black covering the whole thing. So yeah. And if you can tell already, yes, the arms do separate. But you probably go like, but Tributron, that's not canon. He never had 4 arms. You're confusing it with Garmadon from Ninjago, you may be saying. And I'd be telling you, remember, one of Makuta's abilities is to shapeshift. He even turned into a spaghetti monster of murder death. So, if you can be able to turn into a Taraga, a spaghetti monster of murder death, what was it? A Tahunga, aka Matoran, then he can surely enough have 4 arms. So your argument is invalid. Forward, back, so you got decent amount of range with the arms are connected together. Outward movement goes out about that far. Now, since the forearm section is like a piston, it allows for good range of movement in the wrist and the rest of the hand. So it works like an actual human forearm where the bones will rotate, you know, allowing for movement, because that's how real forearms work, people, if you didn't know. If you didn't know how the human body's bone structure works, now you know. kind of, but this is a terrible representation of it, kind of, because this is Bionicle, and you need your muscles, your tissues, and stuff, but yeah, this is kind of like the sole basis of it. Anyways, yeah. So, hands, they can bend forward that much, bend back this much before I start breaking fingers, because you know why? Because I have grabby hand issues. I got grabby hand issues. No flipping off anybody, Makuta. That's not nice. Even though you probably don't care, and it's like, I could do what I want. I can hijack a giant robot body if I so wanted to. And I'll be like, okay, fine, Makuta. Just don't ruin. Just don't hit your head in the process. Oh wait, spoke too soon. But when it's rotated in this format straight, the out backward movement is slightly limited. Let me bent his fingers back. Actually, no, it's not, because this spike piece feeds through the hand. Holy cow, okay, so you got good range all around, which is nice. Oh yeah, this is Makuta Teridax, so he still has the original function as the original from the original toy. I'm thinking about like retaining it, but here it is. You just grab this knob here and you just rotate. Now this figure consists mostly of Generation 1 pieces. Now you may be saying, but Tributron, look at those hands, and it's like, who cares? It fits perfectly. It's mostly, it's essentially all Generation 1 pieces. There's no CCBS in this. But yeah, he can spin freely and it locks into place. It doesn't rotate as much because there's a ball joint in his crotch area, as you can see, in red. But yeah, this is good old Terry. So, hold on, let me get you standing here. Alright, so for the next function, what we're going to be doing is the arm separating function. First, what I wanted to do was just make the wrist rotate, but it's like, no. I'm going to just have the whole arms move, swing back and forth, because that is way too complicated and will ruin the look besides. I mean, with essentially layering being occurred, you know, in this building style. It's a bit of layering, and gosh darn it, this finger, let's just stay down here. There we go. So, now that's there. You can rotate this spike down now, creating a new finger. Over here, slide this finger down, like so, and then rotate this forward, open up the hand, and now there's a whole bunch of fingers. But that's alright, because also, no, the staff, it can be held on the left hand or the right hand. You see this port here goes over in there and on the other hand as well. Should have mentioned that, but yeah, there you go. Now you know. And now all the arms are separated. So let me angle these up. Do this, do that, and then before you know it, Bob's your uncle. So only thing you have to do now is just rotate this knob over here in all four. Now, for you guys to see, the lower arms don't move as much as the upper arms. Reason being is that there's a gear ratio going on in the chest itself. So there's a larger gear in the bottom arms than in the upper arms. So it allows for the lower arms to move slightly slower than the upper arms. I mean, but the cool thing is that you can rotate the head back so that he has alternate head, and then flip the lower arms forward, and then you got like different looking character. Ooh. As a matter of fact, can you? Oh my gosh, you can rotate the legs as well. Okay, so yeah, there's a form of shape-shifting with this guy. There honestly is. I don't know why you would do that, but it is totally possible if you want him to look even more bizarre. But yeah, that's totally a thing. But yes, you can just simply just have him with the cone head the other way, if you so wanted him to. Now, for obvious reasons. Now, let's go straight into size comparisons, shall we? Alright, to start things off, here he is compared with, because people are probably wondering, here he is, right next to Matanui, the Glatorian. So, yeah, only goes up to Makuta's crotch. So, pretty big guy. It's very big. Here he is with something more recent. But here he is compared to this Star Wars figure, which I don't even want to pronounce the name of. So, there's that. And here's another Bionicle to compare with. So here's Akir. And, oh my gosh, Akir's tiny. But yeah, there's that. And here he is with the Toa Fire, which is incomplete. Don't judge me, I'm low on parts. Yeah. It's missing his head and everything, but it's tiny. If you wanted to know. Alright, now to compare him with some figures that I have made. Because if you ever built my Tahu that I made a how-to on this figure, so I mean, there you go. So it goes up to about his chest, so Makuta is taller. But yeah, this is Makuta Teridax. In his former glory. I mean, this is a masterpiece, but he is still incomplete. I still had to make his armor, had to make detachable wings, and maybe even I might remodel him so that a little Matoran comes out of him, out of his shell. Not so sure. And maybe has some green ooze somewhere in his body as well, just as a little cameo. That would be interesting to see, like a little, container of ooze just in his chest or something like that. I don't know, but like I said in the beginning of the video, go ahead, and critique my work with positive criticism. If you want to see this guy completed, like 100% completed, then go to my Patreon and donate so that you can see this guy in his former glory. Because this figure will be cool to see with the armor, because it will have the red layering, the red and blue layering, the black, and then on top of all that having the gunmetal gray. So that is a lot of layering work, especially, it's going to be hard to do with the arms, since they're as chunky as it is already. Well, he's all chunky, what am I saying? Even I made the legs chunky, which is kind of difficult for me, because before they used to be kind of scrawny. But yeah. So that will be just about it for this video. Hello, my fellow compatriots. If you like this video, be sure to show your support by liking and going to my Patreon. And if you want to stay up to date through my latest content, make sure to subscribe.
And like always, this is your host Tributron here, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!